Okay, let's do a quick run through on the intervals and then we'll focus on each one of them at a time. So the Locrian mode has a 0 note away perfect first, as all the modes do, of course. It's got a 1 note away minor second. Now remember that the major scale has a 2 note away major second, which is what we would expect. But the Aeolian or minor scale also has a 2 note away major second. So this is even more minor than the main minor, equivalently minor to the Phrygian mode, which also has the 1 note away minor second. It's got a 3 note away minor third, which is what we would expect from a minor scale, which I can kind of think of the Locrian as a minor scale, a form of minor scale. It's got a 5 note away perfect fourth, which is what we would typically expect because the perfects are usually the same for the majors and the minor. This is the weird one. This is the crazy one. This is the one that none of them do. It's got a 6 note away diminished fifth or flat fifth. So that's the really tensiony sound that comes into play. You will note again that there is one other mode that has a 6 note away distance, and that's going to be the Lydian, but it's actually the fourth, which is augmented, meaning stepped up a step, rather than the fifth, which is diminished in the case of the crazy Locrian. It's got an 8 note away minor 6, which is what we would expect from a normal kind of minor mode instead of a 9 note away major 6. It's got a 10 note away minor 7, which once again is what we would expect from a minor scale or mode, as opposed to the major, which would be an 11 note away major 7. So we're first going to be taking a look at the 0 note away perfect first. Obviously, we're just looking in essence at the same note or octaves, and we want to basically find those on each string, which a lot of people still most likely have trouble doing from the bottom string of the guitar, as we typically look at it from the top string. So let's go ahead and do this. So we're going to go up one string. Now remember that when I go above the string, that normally I have to look for the inverse distance, but in this case, we're looking for an octave or the same note. And so we're going to go all the way around. So if I think about any of these strings, if I think about this string and wrap it around in a circle instead of a line, then it would be like a clock with 12 steps. And if I start at any point on the clock, such as the B, which is then and I go 12 steps around, I'm going to get to the same point whether I go clockwise or counterclockwise. So I don't really need to look for the inverse distance. I need to just look for a distance of 12. When I go above the string, there's a fault line, this is the fault line, or here's the continent on the bottom. I'm going to think about this as a different continent up top. And when I'm looking from this perspective, it's easier in my mind to imagine the place I'm going is the one that has shifted and moved. Therefore, if I'm on this bottom continent, I'm going to imagine that the top continent shifted on the fault line to the left. If I was on the top continent and I was going to look down, so I'm starting from here looking down to my destination, I would imagine that the bottom continent shifted to the right. That's easier for me to visualize. I don't know, I think that's possibly going to be universal. I'm not totally weird, so some of the things that are easy for me to do, are easier for other people to do, or else I'm just weird. But I think that's useful. Okay, so then we're going to say that it's going to be out here. So if I go above it, we're going to say there's a distance of 5 between the strings, no fault line between the E and the B string. So we're going to say that's going to be 5, 6, 7, 8, 5 and negative 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, because it's going towards 0. So I go negative 5 up top, and this goes towards 0 that way. So I'm going to say from here, so I'm going to say this is going to be negative 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. So here to here, from the B to the B, same exact note in that case. Okay, so let's say we go up 2 strings. So that means if I go up 1 string, then the octave is always going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets forward, unless I cross the fault line, which would only happen on the actual B string, the open B, in which case, if I'm going here up above it, this fault line, I'm imagining shifted to the left. So that means that the destination got closer to me. So now we have a lesser distance that we have to travel if I cross the fault line. So the rule is, if I go up 1 string, then the octave or the same note will always be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets forward unless I cross the fault line, which would only happen on the B string, in which case if I go up one string and cross the fault line, the octave will be 1, 2, 3, 4 frets forward. Okay, let's go to the next one up. We're going to go to this one. So now I'm going up 2 strings and crossing the fault line, looking for the octave, has a distance of 12, 5 note distance between this 2 strings, then this continent shifted to the left. So I'm going to go diagonal to get to 5 because I want to count in 5s and not in 4s. So I'm going to say 5, -5, -10, and then 11, 12. So let's count it from here. -5, this continent shifted, so -10, and then 10, 11, 12. There's my B right there. So there's the octave. Now that shape is the shape that we might recognize if I started from here, but it got shifted up. So in other words, that would mean that if I go up 2 strings and cross the fault line, the octave will always be 3 frets back. But I wouldn't cross the fault line if I started above the G string, such as on this B, for example, and if I went up 2 strings, I would be here. Now that shape is possibly the most recognizable if I measured it from the top to the bottom. That's what most people start to learn as kind of like the octave, but most people don't see it as readily if I start from the bottom to the top, and then most people have a confusion when the fault line shifts even from top to bottom, and certainly can't see the shape as well if I'm at the bottom going up across the fault line to the top. See, I'd like to visualize it all those different ways, or practice visualizing it all those different ways. And again, like a lot of people don't do that because they kind of feel like, well, I know it one way and therefore that's good. I know the alphabet going one way and therefore that's good. But if you're working on something, if your whole job is to file in alphabetical order, then it would be best if I can learn the alphabet from any place. I should be able to seamlessly go, oh, I'm at a T. I can go up or down from the T easily, right? And we tend not to try to do that. So similarly here, right? I want to be able to visualize it from top to bottom, but I don't want to stop there. I want to keep on being able to visualize it from bottom to top, and so on and so forth. And there's many reasons. Again, I just want to point out that people come up with like rationalizations on why they don't need to do that, because I can always look at it this way, I can look at it my way, or we kind of convince ourselves that we already know it the other way because it's easy. It's just the octave in reverse, so it's easy. I don't need to practice that because obviously it's the octave in reverse. And like, yeah, it is obvious once you think about it, but you can't see it unless you actually do it. Unless you repeatedly do it, you won't be able to see it in your mind, right? And it's not a matter of intelligence. Like, I'm not the most visually, like some people are better at seeing it than other people. Like people that have more visual, they're better like at turning things around in their mind. I'm okay at that, but I'm certainly not like the best at that. Anybody can do it. You just practice doing it, just like practicing the alphabet going forward. You practice the alphabet going backwards. The more you do it, then I think the practice is more important than being naturally gifted personally. Maybe that's just because that's where I'm at. Maybe I get good at things by practicing more. And I think that actually, it works better a lot of times, right? If you just practice it over and over, then you will be able to see it multiple different ways. It's not like, oh, I'm just a genius, and so if I can't get it, then I'm not going to do it because I don't have the gift of seeing it. You know, if it's harder to see, then you need to work twice as hard. That's what I was, right, always kind of, you're not the brightest, you're not the sharpest tool in the shed. You better work twice as hard. Right? It's like, all right. So anyway, let's go to the next. So that means let's go to the next one. We're going to go up to this one here. So now we're going to go up 3 strings. So we're going to go up 3 strings, and we're looking for a distance of 12. So, and we're crossing the fault line. So again, going this way would be, going straight up would be 5. And then this shifted to the left. So I'm going to say 10, negative 10, and then 15. We're always going to hit 15, which is over 12. So if I get there, I'm going to say 15 minus 12 brings it back down to negative 3. And then this goes towards 0. So negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, negative 0, 0, 0, echo, echo, echo. Oh, God. No. Now the song's in my... Okay. So it's going to be negative 5, negative 10, negative 15, and 15 minus 12 is going to be negative 3, 2, 1, 0. 0, 0, 0. All right. Oh, my gosh. So they should have cast me in the movie. I don't get cast in any movies. I feel like I should have some kind of thing where they put me in. I don't know. I don't want to be in. It doesn't seem like a good position to be in right now. I'll just stick with my guitar thing. So in any case, that means that if we go up 3 strings and across the fault line, then the octave will be 2 frets forward, but I wouldn't always cross the fault line. If I was like above the G, if I was above that B string, above the fault line, then I wouldn't have to cross it, and I would go like that. So then, so notice what's happening here. There's my root. It would be like this, but now if I cross the fault line, this is staying still, and this tectonic plate shifted to the left, making it closer to me. So I'm going to say the rule would be that if I go up 3 strings, then the octave is going to be 1, 2, 3 frets forward unless I cross the fault line, which would happen on the low strings, the B and the E string, in which case if I go up 3 strings and cross the fault line, then the octave is going to be 2 frets forward. Let's go up to the next one, otra vez. Let's go back here. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets back. So we're going to go up 4 strings, which means we're always going to cross the fault line because I can't go up 4 strings without crossing the fault line. So it's going to be a distance of 12. So we've got 5 and then 10 going this way, 15, and then 15 minus 12 is going to be negative 3, plus another 5 is going to be negative 8, and then going more in the negative this way, 8, negative 9, 10, 11, and 12. Let's count it on the guitar. I don't think I counted the last one on the guitar. Sorry about that. But I'm going to say, okay, this is going to be 5. This shifted that way. Negative 10, negative 15. 15 minus 12 is negative 3. Plus another 5 is going to be negative 8. 8 and negative 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. So from here to here, so that be, boom, octave. So that means if I go up 4 frets, I'm always going to cross the fault line, and therefore the octave will always be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 frets back. Okay, then if I go to the top string, I can obviously cheat. If I go up 5 strings and I'm looking for the same note, same, although different octave, it's going to be the same because it's on the same string, right? And so notice also these 2 strings are they are unique because they're the same. So anything I'm measuring from here will have the same, I can measure from up top as well. So if I was looking for like this B, instead of me counting up this way, I could say, well, the same, if I'm looking at this B down here, well, it's going to be the same up top, and therefore I can go down from there and see it's going to be then 5 frets back, right? So I can look at it that way when I'm measuring from this bottom string, which could be useful. But let's count it up to the top just to do the counting practice. So we're looking for a distance of 12, so it's going to be 5, and then this tectonic plate shifted to the left, so it's going to be 10 this way, negative 15. 15 minus 12 is going to be negative 3, plus another 5 is a negative 8. And then this is the only time I'd have to add another 5, which would get me to 13, because I normally would not be going up 5 strings. 13 minus only 12 notes in the musical alphabet is negative 1, and then 0. Boom. So obviously, I won't count it out on the here. I'm just going to say the octave is obviously top and bottom string. Okay,